Here's a way to take a basic block letter and make it a little bit more interesting with some wavy lines. So I'm starting out with just the letter M, and I wrote that in a yellow marker, just nice and big on the page, and now I'm tracing around it in a black marker. And if you don't have to start with a yellow marker, but that's a great way if you need a foundation. It's especially helpful if you're writing a word and you need to work on, be sure your spacing is, you like the spacing before you get the trouble to making all these block letters. And then I created a wavy line on the edges. As you can see, I'm doing that on all of the edges here. I started with two. And this wavy line I'm doing a little bit differently than I've done the other letters. So I'm alternating inside and outside the letter. Some of the letters, if you've watched the earlier letters in the alphabet, you can see what it looks like if you just do the line on the outside of the letter. Some of them I just did on the inside of the letter. Some of them I did I did the vertical lines on the inside and the horizontal lines on the outside. This one, I'm really switching it up, but there's a consistent pattern, so it doesn't look chaotic. I'm alternating inside and outside, inside and outside. So it's fun to play around with it. Your creativity is really it can be put to good use, when you're doing letters like this. Just have fun with it. There's really no right or wrong. Your goal is to be sure that they're legible, so you want to keep that in mind, and that's really your guidepost. So for this, as you can see, now that I've kind of drawn some of those lines, I've colored them all in so they're solid black. I like that really bold black line. You don't have to. It tends to look more finished though if you do. So there may be times when you don't want it to look as finished. You want it to be a little more sketchy, and that's great. You don't have to color them in. But as I mentioned in the other videos for the earlier letters, if you're creating something to be read from a distance, you want to be sure your lines are big and bold. And this is just an easy and quick way to make your letters stand out a little bit more, especially from a distance, without worrying about them being perfectly straight, and really just adding a little bit more movement, a little more playfulness, a little more fun, a little more creativity, and giving your letters a little bit more personality and a little bit more style. So this is a great kind of letter to do, especially for the first letter in a title, or if you just want a letter to stand out, or you could even do like a really big letter like this and then write smaller things inside of it or draw pictures inside of it. So again, it's up to your imagination. So this is just a quick and simple way to make a basic block letter just a little bit more interesting, just using simple wavy lines.